Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the March 25th Board of County Commissioners meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, again, good morning, everybody. First thing on our agenda are our minutes. Gentlemen, do we have any additions or corrections? Okay.
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County for Tuesday, March 18th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County for March 18th, 2025. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up is planning. Looks like everybody is here, so this being the time set aside for a public hearing, would you call the roll, please, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhagen.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney Tarnowski.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed single lot development and AR 3-9 rezoning application submitted by Chappell LLC, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located at 16795 Road S, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 280 acres more or less, located west of Road 18, north of Road S, situated in Section 20, Township 37 North, Range 17 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 25th, 2025 at 9 a.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 17th day of February 2025, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, March 12th, 2025.
All right, thank you, Kim. Don, would you give us an overview on this, please?
Sure. Mr. Chappell is proposing to create a 3-acre, a little larger than 3-acre single lot development off of the large farm parcel. The cabin has been there for several years. Just want to create that as a separate lot. They have installed a septic system. Access, as you can see on the map, they do have an easement to that location. So they're just separating that off.
Is that a 30-foot easement or a 30? So just a single means of egress?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Would you like to add anything, Mr. Lovett?
Oh, that's it. They're just trying to do a little bit of planning, future planning, and just want to chop the cabin off from the farmland.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Well, then I will open this application up for a public hearing. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward to the podium. State your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and you may address the board at this time. All right, seeing no comments, I'll close the public session of this application and bring it back to the board. Gentlemen, questions?
I don't have any. Pretty straightforward.
Like I said, my only concern would be to make sure that we have that deeded access, the 30-foot easement, to make sure, because it could eventually get, or maybe not, but that way somebody has access in and out of there.
Yeah, it'll be in the final plat for sure.
Okay.
And from S and 17 over, there is a deeded easement across that particular section currently, and then since El Chappell owns the whole thing, they'll reserve that access easement in their plat.
All right.
Planning and,
They were unanimous to recommend it, just with the contingency of putting in the septic system, which has been done.
How's the water access? Is that a well, or is there
No,
actually?
it's public.
Oh, there is actually water
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Good.
Montezuma water
Okay.
goes out quite a ways out in that area.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
I would so move we accept the proposed single lot development and AR 3 through 9 rezoning application submitted by El Chappell LLC, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located at 16795 Road S, Cortez.
do you have something, Stephen, you want?
Nope, thanks.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed single lot development and AR 3 through 9 rezoning application submitted by El Chappell LLC, agent Keenen Lovett, on property located at 16795 Road S, Cortez, Colorado. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. You have
All
been
right, thank
approved,
you.
sir. Thank you very much, and I'll close this public hearing.
Thanks, Ken.
Stay away from the alligators.
All right, looks like I have a couple minutes. So if you want to, I guess we could take care of this request for the vested rights.
Sure.
We have time to do that. So
Yes.
if you want to give us a brief description on that again, Don?
Yeah, this was an original subdivision application that went through the 2 public hearings, was approved by the county commissioners in April of 2022 for a 2-lot minor subdivision. Subsequently, that property was sold. They never did get the survey done or the plat and get it recorded. So now the new owners would like to request an extension, a 3-month extension for the vested rights of that approval with a little different configuration of the west lot to encompass the whole ridge line to the north. It would still stay as a 2-lot minor. They're requesting the extension so that they have time to get the survey completed, the plats reviewed and recorded.
Okay.
The
Travis.
new owners are Adam and Brittany Bryan, for the record.
Okay. If you'd scroll down to the picture of showing the 10 acres and the other
Yeah.
would be approximately 25.
Correct.
So it does comply. It is a 2-lot subdivision still. We're just adding 5, taking away 5, which meet all the criteria of the land use code.
Right. And no new property owners there on that north section have come into play or exist since the public notices were all sent out.
Okay.
And I'll just add, from our discussion yesterday, that I've talked to Don in the planning department about this, that the proposed subdivision is substantially similar to the subdivision that the board had previously approved, but the request is for an extension of the vested rights to go through with this subdivision, and that can only be done through an express authorization by the local government, so the board. So that's why this is back in front of the board today, for the board to expressly approve that extension of time.
Okay.
I have no problem with this. I mean, this is really simple.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. We'll get this done and done right, so there's no problems down the road.
Go ahead.
I moved to approve this 3 months extension to the vested rights for the previously approved 2-lot minor subdivision and rezoning application submitted by previous owners, Justin and Tammy Hooton, on property located at 26510 Road K.5, Cortez.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the 3-month extension to the vested rights for the previously approved 2-lot minor subdivision and rezoning application submitted by previous owners Justin and Tammy Hooten on property located at 26510 Road K.5, Cortez, Colorado. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, sir, that has been approved.
Thank you.
All right, let's see, we are at 9:10, so do we have the next owner? All right, this being the time to set aside for another public hearing, would you call the roll, please, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Copenhaver.
Here.
Administrator Anderson.
Here.
Attorney Tarnowski.
Here.
Kim Purcell, County Clerk. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review of a proposed subdivision amendment application to Lot 3 of the Eagles Roost 3-lot subdivision submitted by Morathore LLC, agent Michelle Ingvar, on property located at 13538 Road 32.4, Mancos, Colorado, consisting of 6.31 acres more or less, located west of Road 33, north of Road P, situated in Section 1, Township 36 North, Range 15 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, at 9:10 a.m. in the Commissioner's Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 17th day of February 2025, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, March 5th, 2025.
All right, thank you, Kim. Okay, Don, overview on this one, please.
Yes, Miss Ingvar, she owns Lot 3 in the Eagles Roost subdivision, and she is requesting to basically split that in half. Her residence is on the west, and then access would be from Road P for what would be the new lot created on the east.
Okay, would you like to add anything?
I don't think so. That sounds good to me.
Okay. All right, thank you. Commissioners, do you have any questions at this
No,
time?
I don't.
How many other lots are in this original subdivision?
It's currently 3 lots, so this would make it a 4-lot moderate.
The other 2 lots are okay with this?
Mm-hmm. We have not had any response from them. No public comment at the P&Z public hearing.
Okay,
P&Z recommendation is,
They were unanimous to recommend it, just to inform the new owners on the east lot of the land use code
okay. In the ditch.
and the ditch. Yeah, that easement will need to be shown on the
Yeah.
on the
Right.
plat.
okay. All right, well then I will open up this application for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against the application, please come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comment, and you may address the board at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, I'll close the public comment session of this application and bring it back to the board. Gentlemen,
I have nothing further.
okay.
I don't have any problem with it. I move to approve this proposed subdivision amendment application to Lot 3 of the Eagles Roost 3-lot subdivision submitted by Morathore LLC agent Michelle Ingvar on property located at 13538 Road 32.4, Mancos, Colorado.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision amendment application to the 3-lot of the Eagles Roost 3-lot subdivision submitted by Morathore LLC, agent Michelle Ingvar, on property located at 13538 Road 32.4, Mancos, Colorado. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, you have been approved, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys for your help.
And I will close this public hearing.
And I will.
Okay. Anything else?
I did send the draft variance section to be added to the land use code to Vicky to post on the county webpage for the public can view that. That public hearing is next Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
Have you had any input, interest yet? I mean, heard anything?
I haven't had no response, no contact or anything, anybody asking questions or any concerns about it, so I don't really expect we'll get anything. There may be some when they read the draft, but it's kind of straightforward.
Have you
And we-
reviewed the draft, Stephen?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yep.
Any problems?
Nope, I took the draft from planning and zoning and basically made some changes to get it to this draft. So I don't have any issues with the draft as is right now.
It's getting kind of drafty in here anyways.
I did add to that what the application fees would be on that, just
Okay.
because that would be part of the adoption as well. For discussion on next Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Next Tuesday. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a great day. All right. Next up is our public comment session. The Board of County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Persons speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all the members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments. Comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. And with that, the public comment session is open. All right. With that, we'll close the public comment session, and we will bring our social services down. I see them walking into the room, and we will continue on. Good morning, ladies.
How are you? Morning.
Get it close.
You're going to do all the talking.
All right. You want to go ahead and take care of this, sir?
Yes, I would so move that we adopt the minutes, the Board, Social Services Board of February 25th, 2025, and also approve the financials in the total amount of $1,504,843.23.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the records of the proceedings for the Social Services Department for Tuesday, February 25th, 2025. And it's also been moved to accept the payables for February in the amount of $1,504,843.23. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Nothing too crazy happening this month. The week before last, the Kemp Center did come down, looking to build their network of medical providers that will work with child welfare, specifically around abuse and neglect of children. It was good. We still have a gap. We need a physician that's willing to assess child abuse and neglect really specifically. So I hope that their efforts will continue, and we can recruit somebody who will be reliable and committed. It really is a specialty and certainly a gap in our child welfare department.
What kind of numbers are at risk? Do you have any idea?
Numbers of kids that we
Yes.
would want seen by a physician.
Yes.
Best practice would say that every child that we touch down with, we would want to be seen. I would say of the children that we're assessing regularly, 10 a month should see a
Okay.
physician. When we ask that a family go see a physician due to some sort of neglect or abuse, or maybe we think there's a underlying medical issue. Often those children don't have primary health care providers, and so they end up going to urgent care, which are not skilled in abuse and neglect. It is a specialty, and so sometimes we're left concerned that there is abuse or neglect happening, but we don't have a medical professional willing to support our thoughts and beliefs as a department. I would say 8% of our referrals are physical abuse that we assess. And in a year, 250 that we assess, 8% of those. So sexual abuse follows that with about 7% of the referrals that we get. And then 70% are neglect. And I would say of those, maybe 30% need to see a physician or should see a physician. So it is a need, and it's difficult. It's definitely a difficult practice.
Anything like that we can get out of Access Health or any, I mean, you mentioned urgent care.
Yeah, so our urgent care, I think the urgent care AFC on Main Street right now, I think all of their providers are physician's assistants.
Okay.
And so what the Kemp Center does is there's a piece of legislation where they really work to create a network of medical professionals in communities that become experts in child abuse and neglect. And they provide training, it's free cost, they'll provide consultation with those physicians or practitioners, but they have to be willing to say, yes, we want to do that. And so I gave them, before they arrived, a list of providers that we routinely work with, including the school-based health clinics, because they're seeing lots of kids. I provided them a couple mental health providers, and so I think we had in total maybe 10 providers at the meeting when we met. Hopefully a couple will join in. I did speak to one physician afterwards, and she said she was very interested in participating and learning, which would be great.
Yeah, you answered my next question about the school health centers.
We continue to wait on lots of funding topics. It looks like, as far as human services, we had a really great JBC outcome last week. Many of our allocations were approved at their current rate, some a little more, which was great. HICPUF got their county admin, which was good for them as well. We'll wait and see what the long bill has in it when it comes out and is finalized. I am concerned about TFAP, which is our commodities. That's our food distribution. It's my understanding that some of that funding has been halted. We haven't seen those ramifications here locally yet, and they have asked for a site visit in April. So I'm not sure where that will be, and we haven't received word from TFAP on anything, but I did read some news articles and got some information from our local food collaborative folks, so we'll hurry up and see if that will continue or not. I would say there was two pieces of legislation that I really wanted to, the House Bill 1200, which is the Ombudsman bill. I would say that as across the state, we're in favor of that, and that really reduces the stretch in which the Ombudsman can get information from a Department of Social Services when there's been a complaint. Specifically, it doesn't allow them to obtain personnel records. And so I am in favor of that one. I think that their scope is pretty broad, and it would be nice to limit that further specifically to personnel records. And then I know that Senate Bill 25134, the Uniform Guardianship and Conservation Bill, is likely not going to come down, but if it does move forward, really taking heed that that is an adult protection potential issue, and would want to talk more at length if that bill moves forward. So I'll monitor and see. I'm not convinced that it will, but if it should, having additional conversations, because that could have broad impacts for adult protection.
I think that all of the information you sent me while I was up there voting last month, everything kind of fell right into place of what you had recommended to us for the entire state. Jennifer O'Hare?
Heather O'Hare?
Heather.
Yeah.
Heather.
That's okay.
Too many of them up there. She's actually at that meeting.
Great.
does a great job with presentation and explaining it to the rest of us, because that's the toughest session on Friday mornings to deal with
Yeah,
every time I'm up there. And
Yeah.
it's hard to understand.
it is
She does
complicated.
she does a good job.
She's great.
So I want to say that the entire CCI voting populace up there all kind of followed that. So just so you're aware, and
Yeah,
I'm sure
that's
you've
great.
seen our voting positions that we took on all of those bills.
Great. Yeah, she's certainly with it, stays up to date. Out of all of the directors, her and Jamie Ulrich are really on top of it. They have the time and capacity to stay up, so that's great. Wonderful to hear. Beyond that, it's waiting to see how allocations roll out. I'm specifically worried about AAA funding and what that may look like locally. I have gotten no information. We haven't gotten any renew paperwork so that we can apply for next year. So I remain concerned and, in a waiting pattern. I am meeting with the Friends of Hospital today to talk about Medicaid funding, specifically administration funding, and help brainstorm with them some solutions that could potentially be brought back to you, Commissioner Copenhaver. And I think that's all that's happening.
In our coffee yesterday, there was a lot of concerns about funding for a lot of programs.
Yeah.
And it's like Commissioner Candelaria said yesterday, it's like they put the reins on everything and stopped, and then they're gonna sort this out, and we're gonna see what really falls out.
And that's it. I mean, we have no information besides it may. Some of our grants, like the community block grant that funds senior services, that $16,000, that's still on hold, which is interesting. We haven't received word about that. Other funding, we got Department of Transportation funding that's saying, hey, continue, move forward, we're gonna keep trucking. And so it's all different and varied, but you're right, it's a little nerve-wracking not knowing. I've been fielding a lot of questions about different program areas as well.
I think it's more frustrating with the lack of information coming out. you
Yes,
know, And maybe they just don't know.
that's my best guess.
I think that's the key, is they're trying to figure it out. So it is going to be a little bit
Yes.
on the edge maybe, but it's all going to be okay in the end.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hurry up and
continue to
wait.
breathe, and we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Keep working and continue to breathe, and it's all going to be okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Questions or comments for Kelly? All right.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
All right. All right, we are going to jump into our unfinished business at this point in time. The first thing up is a letter of support for SHS, Southwest Health System. We had 2 representatives come yesterday asking for a letter of support to Senators Bennett and Hickenlooper for congressionally directed spending, CDS, and this is going to be for the replacement or the upgrades. And I think you got a free scan out of this, I think, or that's what we were shooting for. But anyway,
Yeah, we didn't get, I don't think I'm gonna get a free scan.
for a CT scanner at Southwest
You never know, though.
Hospital. So with that, Commissioner?
I move to approve this letter of support to U.S. Senators Bennett and Hickenlooper for Southwest Health Systems to get a new CT scanner to replace the old one.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to sign this letter of support being sent to Senators Michael Bennett and Senator John Hickenlooper for the congressionally directed spending for SHS for a CT scanner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up, we also had presented, we had a 2025 noxious weed cost share program. This was for $10,000. And this is for our noxious weed program for the cost share, reimbursement of 50% of the chemicals. Questions or comments?
No.
Okay.
I would so move that we approve the noxious weed department cost share application.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the 2025 noxious weed department cost share application. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and next up, another one that was from the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Partnership Program. This is to help with the cost share for the noxious weeds, and this is for another $10,000, which would make our total, if we get them all, $25,000, which was $5,000 less than what we had last year for cost share for 50% product reimbursement for our county. Any other questions?
No.
All right.
I move to approve this Montezuma County grant application submission form for the noxious weed department through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife in the amount of $10,000 with no cash match.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept this Montezuma County grant application submission form for the Natural Resources Noxious Weed Department, reimbursement of $10,000 through the Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Moving right along, Mr. Tarnowski, what do you have for us as far as an attorney's report?
Commissioners, this week, one thing on my calendar that I've got an eye on is Friday, March 18th at 11. I'm going to be calling in to the Colorado Department of Labor for the ballot counting for our FOP unionization election. So we should, be informed of the outcome of that election next week, and that'll determine what kind of next steps the board has to take in that respect. This week, I've got a lot of court appearances for child protection. I'll be in court this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and also on Friday morning. Otherwise, I'm continuing to work with our planning and zoning department on revisions to our land use code, both in regards to the variance provisions, which we mentioned previously, and also on potentially adopting some more specific regulations as it relates to renewable energy generation in the county. One other thing I'd like to mention this week is I've got 2 current students from DU Law here this week. They're here in the meeting room with us. Mika and Sheena, they're here as part of DU's Alternative Spring Break program to observe and learn about the practice of law in rural Colorado, obviously here specifically in Montezuma County. So that's been a fun experience for me, and I hope for Sheena and Mika as well, kind of getting to see what it looks like out here in Montezuma County, and meeting lawyers outside of the metro area. I think is important for our profession and also for our area specifically.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Any questions?
No.
Okay, Mr. Anderson.
This week, I just want to remind everybody, Rick Torres is retiring for a second time. We gave him a plaque yesterday, but they will be doing a
Special event.
special event Thursday from 1 to 3. This week I met with La Plata County Administrator Chuck Stevens. They are in the same situation we are as far as budget and funding. They've lost approximately $10 million since the governor created his special property tax initiative. So they're in the same boat as we are. We are also looking at some software for our HR department. I did get the fee structures back from department heads. I'll get those on the agenda, have the department heads make those presentations to you in the near future. And then just a lot of budget discussions. I know we're starting real early, but we've got a new format, new process, and we're looking at our revenues, so.
Staff openings. Are we fully staffed, looking for help?
We are, thank you, Commissioner. We do have an opening for Road and Bridge Department. We'll be advertising. Mr. Engelhart is retiring. Congratulations to him. Going to be able to go and not have to focus on roads and maybe focus on hay bales, so.
Yeah.
All right, very good, thank you. Ms. Purcell, do you have anything?
I do wanted to mention to the commissioners that there was some legislation that passed as far as our recording fees. And as of January 1st, all of our recording fees will go to a flat rate. Currently, we charge $13 for the first page, and then each page thereafter is an additional charge. It's going to be set at a flat $40 rate as of July 1st. More information to come. Jerry's going to come talk to you guys about it and give you a presentation on what it's going to be so the public will be aware of what's going on. I just wanted to give you a heads up.
Thank you.
That could be a double-edged sword there. What if
Yeah.
you have a document of 1,000 pages and it costs us $60 just in staff time?
Yeah, it's going to be a $40 flat fee, whether it's a one-page document or, but they've also done some really good things where previously we had to charge to record a death certificate, and they changed that, so death certificates will be a no charge. And so there's some
Okay.
benefits to it, but most of the counties that did like a financial review of it, that came out pretty close.
Okay, so kind of a
I don't-
wash.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna lose funds, but I don't think we're gonna gain a lot of funds either.
Okay. All right, thank you, Kim. Commissioner Lindsay.
A lot of contacts, and I'll let Commissioner Candelaria talk about our coffee yesterday. Just for public information tonight, I have city council meeting, and on the workshop is interviews for Parks, Recreation, and Forestry Advisory Board, Parks and Rec Master Plan, and an update on Rec Tech upgrade benefits. And then a general council discussion. And the regular meeting starts at 7:30, and if I can bring it up, I guess it's not gonna come up. Oh, yeah, here we go. They've got expenditures list to approve, corporate structures for hotel, restaurant license, a lot of retail beverage licenses, organic licenses. Looks like financial statements are included in the packet if you want to go to their website and look at their financial. I don't know, the award of a 2025 cathodic protection project, oh, that's for the water tanks out at the water department, tanks 1, 2, and 3. Out of city water taps, they have a request for that. And award a contract for professional engineering services, and some ordinances on first reading of an ordinance amending the code, resolutions and guidelines for the protocol for the city council, and then a bunch of just regular session items. So if you care to look in, they're on YouTube, care to go, you're more than welcome. And that's about all I have to say.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Copenafer.
Yeah, like Commissioner Lindsay said, I've had several contacts with several different groups, people recently over different items. Most of it's what's happening with the federal government, but, which we don't have a lot of control over. But I have a meeting in Mancos tomorrow evening. Thursday evening, I have a meeting with Southwest over at Ignacio, and then all day Friday, we have a water meeting in Ignacio that I'll be attending, and that's where I'll probably be most of the rest of the week.
Very nice. As for me, it was somewhat, I don't want to say the Q word, but somewhat quiet last week as we ended up the week, other than working with staff here on budgeted numbers. I did attend the services for a longtime resident, served on boards with them, Orly Lucero. Sad to see him go, but did take part of that. Was at the Dolores meeting last night. Nothing earth-shattering there. They did approve for their final reading their marijuana ordinance. So that was taking place last night. And they had an executive session, so I was able to get out of there by about 8 o'clock last night. Also, too, yesterday we did have our coffee with the county, which I think has been very good in my opinion, or all three commissioners' opinion. I think we had this boardroom probably had at least, I don't know, maybe 40 people here
We're gonna have to start charging an entry
guessing,
fee.
but a lot of great conversations, a lot of federal questions that we can't really answer, but a lot of questions that we can answer for the people that were here locally and local issues that are going on. And more than anything, it's a time for us to be able to educate and really give people an idea of what we're having to deal with on a daily basis. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate them coming out, giving us their time, and obviously we'll give them all the time that we possibly can. There were requests, a couple of them, to try and move some of those to the evening, so we will try and accommodate those in the next coming months. We'll move some of those to the evening. We also have traveling town hall meetings that are always done in the evenings to allow people time to get out to have a conversation with the commissioners. With that, gentlemen, that's all that I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn this March 24th, 2025 meeting. I'm sorry, 25th. March 25th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.